An unbounded team is one where its membership, its composition is not respected. In an unbounded team, the boundaries of that team will essentially be leaky. That's the best way to think of it. There'll be a situation where team members will be considered as being, in fact, on that team for certain purposes, but not on the team for others. A common implementation of the unbounded team anti-pattern is where people have to do double duty and serve the interests of more than one team. That their time effectively might be split, but it will not be split in a managed way. It's where someone will simply be allocated to two teams, and the split itself, whether they do 50% or 10% or whatever in one team and the remainder in the other, that won't actually be managed. They just have to go where they're pulled. That's what an unbounded team is. It's a leaky team boundary. It might also be the case that membership is simply vague and unclear. It might be the case that a team notionally consists of people in very enormously varied roles. People whose roles come into effect at different times, such as perhaps business analysts or certain stakeholders who might be positioned as being product owners at certain times, but not at other times. These are all symptoms of having an unbounded team. A real, true, genuine Agile team will have a clear, well-defined membership, because that team will own its own process, and it will be absolutely clear who is responsible for that process and who does in fact own it. With an unbounded team, you won't have that. You won't have that rigor, and the process itself, because of that, will not be inspectable or really adaptable. So we have to watch out for this anti-pattern of having an unbounded team. It's quite often an indicator of other anti-patterns, such as, having perhaps, one is called Scrum in name only, or Agile in name only, a broader anti-pattern, where existing organizational roles are continued, and people see their duties in terms of those existing roles, and they only pay lip service to Agile team membership, and they only participate in an Agile team, not so much at a time that suits them, but at a time that matches their current understanding of what their responsibilities are. So it's important when you see the unbounded team anti-pattern, leaky team boundaries, or very indeterminate and squishy team boundaries, it's important to seize control of that, because it is absolutely fundamental to the ownership of process and to inspection and adaptation. You really do need a clear team boundary, and part of that, a big part of that, is tightening up on role definitions. So if you find a situation where a Scrum team, let's say, is considered as having business analysts, is considered as having testers, is considered as having perhaps database administrators, these are all indications that the team is unbounded, which is to say that its boundaries are squishy and a bit leaky, because these other people, these business analysts, these testers, these database analysts, for example, or administrators, may very well have other duties that lie outside of the team. So we really do need to stay on top and in control of team membership in Agile practice.